Let's be real. Menopause changes everything. One day you're feeling fine. The next, you can't stand your partner that's simply breathing right next to you. Hey guys, welcome to the Palate Cleanse. I'm your host, Valencia, and today we're going to get into relationships and how your perimenopause, your menopausal journey overall is going to change that. So, with that being said, menopause just doesn't happen to your body. It affects your mind, your relationships with your partner, your kids, your job. But today, since we're closing in on Valentine's Day, we're going to specifically address those changes and how it affects your dating and marital life. I am coming up on 10 years married, and my husband and I dated roughly about 3 years before we get married. So we got 13, almost 14 years, give or take, in the belt. And of course, I was not menopausal when we started dating or even when we got married. Menopause hit me fairly early. I was 42 by the time I realized that is what was going on with my body and my mind. I just thought I was losing my mind a little bit, a little too stressed, had a lot of action going on, but it was actually perimenopause. And at about 45, 46 is when perimenopause stopped. I hit menopause and then now I'm postmenopausal at 48 because after you go through menopause for the rest of your life, you're considered postmenopausal. So that's where I'm at. So now what's crazy is as I kind of look and learn into different things, the divorce rate when women or people in general hit 50 has like doubled since the 90s, give or take. And a lot of it, I think, and I'm looking at a statistic. So it says nearly 70% of the divorces are initiated by women. And some of them say that menopause was like the catalyst because they started realizing certain things about life and their partner and what they wanted. And apparently, marriage was not what they wanted. So, if you're single, you probably noticed, people your age. Like I notice a lot of women around age in their 40s, 50s, or whatever, they're out here dating some, but very few are getting married, but they're dating and y'all are brave because I see what the dating pool looks like and honestly if I wasn't with my husband I'd probably be very single because at this age your patience and what you're willing to deal with is going to be different. It's a lot of things that you may have dealt with or let slide in your teens that in your fees and your fees, it's no ma'am, no sir, no ham, no spam, no Pam, just no. And that's what I see. And so my hat is off to you ladies that's willing to brave today's dating pool. Okay. So with that being said, I'm going to give you guys just some little game changing truths that we need to realize how menopause will impact these things because it'll help you adjust and you'll know how to approach dating or even your marriage. We're going to talk about how menopause causes shifts in your relationship dynamics. We're going to talk about why some women leave and how you can avoid that unnecessary separations or divorces. We're going to talk about the emotional and physical changes and how to navigate those things with your partner, whether married or dating. We're also going to talk about what does dating really look like at 40, 50, and beyond, how to approach it differently. Okay, you're a different person than when you were dating in your teens, 30s, or whatever. So you got to approach this game as a different player. Still a game, but the player is different. And then we're going to talk about the number one thing that you need to do to ensure happy, healthier relationships, not just for your partner, but for you as well. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay. So, menopause, and I say this because I'm a woman, but for men, as they get older, they do go through, I call it menopause, but it is called andropause, but I call it menopause. But most of the time, you will hear people say midlife crisis. They're not going to use menopause or andropause, which is the term they use for what men go through. So let's say both of y'all are around the same age, you're going through the same thing, except yours really have a name, albeit not a good name that doesn't come with its stigmas, but yours have a name. Okay. So these things, that stage of life can trigger an emotional disconnect, miscommunication, and even resentment if you and your partner are not prepared. And let me give you an example. We all know men and women that the older they get, it seems like they're regressing. We'll have men that's 40 and 50 dressing and doing the same things that young guys are doing in their 20s. Or we'll have women out here, my age, and you're doing things that, late teenagers, early 20-year-olds are doing. But let me add this. Hey, if you like it, I love it. But if you are looking for a mature relationship, happy and healthy, y'all grow old together, or if you are in a mature relationship, if y'all not on one accord with the we're going to go back and do our 20s, then keep listening. So the problem is as you get older, your patience is shorter. And think about like your grandparents and stuff, and it seems like they were mean, but they really didn't have the patience. So that same thing that you experienced with them when you were younger, now other people are experiencing with you. Why? Because your patience is way shorter. Your needs and wants in life has changed. When you were younger, you might have not had money to do certain things like go to the nail shop regularly or get your hair done regularly. And that may have been a need or want then. Now that's not something you should be struggling with if that's what you want to do. Or maybe as you got older, you realize that stuff is not really important. So your patience is shorter, your needs and wants have changed, and your partner, and I'm talking on marriage terms, may not recognize or haven't had time to adjust to who you have become. Because I could tell you, Valencia at 48 is not the same Valencia that my husband was dating. I've grown. Things that I've done and wanted to do in life has changed. I was very much a different person mentally, not so much physically, even though things that were important to me aren't anymore. And that's all fine and good for me. Like that's all fine and good for you. But you are living with another person. You're married to another person. So those changes, it may need to be a discussion. It's just now, really within the last couple of years, while I thought that my husband loved me all extra done up and divified and makeup down and everything else, he really liked my natural face, which Back in the day, you would hardly see that. Now I'm more natural face and just do a few things than anything. And I've asked him, like, why you didn't say that then? Which I understand why he didn't tell me that then, because I would have got offended. Women, we know us, okay? We know us. So instead of shutting down because you feel different or going through different things and you think it's all about you, you do need to be open and honest and have a ongoing conversation in some way, shape, or form about the things that's changing and what they can expect from you and what you would like. Notice my wording, from them. Okay. So menopause can take you on an emotional journey for various reasons. And we're talking about from your peri stages. You're gonna start feeling different, noticing different things. Your body is gonna start running amok. You want to be able to discuss those things with your partner in the way you could best understand, because there will be times or maybe times when you're going through an emotional thing where my poor husband, Lord, he'll come in from work and I'm just sitting here at the computer, for instance, and I'm crying. And he will ask me, not so much now because we've had the discussion, but like, what's wrong? You're okay. Is there anything I could do? Sometimes he still asks, but he's better at understanding my just general crying versus I need you type crying. And it could just be nothing, right? He understands that my moods, which is important as you go through mood swings, that your partner understands and y'all are able to communicate. Because menopause is not just the you situation. If you're dating or in a relationship, marriage, what have you, it is us. We are going through menopause together. It's not just about you so much. It's a us thing. If you want to keep that relationship nice, right, and tight, it's us. We are going through it. Something else is going to change. Intimacy. And I'm just going to use that word because menopause brings hot flashes, night sweats, insomnia, and different things. So sometimes the last thing on your mind is like, ooh, I want to hug, kiss, and get all the things, because again, you're barely managing sometimes your mind, and that is the last thing on your mind. And a lot of times we see relationship goals and these couples that's all sweet and lovey dovey and those things. They're always passionate and exciting and traveling and looking head to toe, all done up. And, from a very happy, healthy relationship place, that ish is unrealistic. It really is. And if you go back and look at those couples that you think are relationship goals or couple goals, and we're not talking about the kids, we're talking about mature adults, then you will see a year or two later, their relationship is crashing. It's a lot of toxicity going on behind the scenes, in front of the scenes. Look at what the kids are doing, those things. A realistic relationship means that we're not going to focus so much on that aspect of intimacy, but we're going to do maybe more date nights or more bonding and getting to know each other and who we are, because you are not the only one changing. Yours may just have a name. There's different things that's considered affectionate, different things that's considered intimacy besides actually doing the do. Okay. Now, instead of trying to force your who you guys are now into who you used to be, create a new relationship dynamic that's like a cousin to how y'all used to be, if that makes sense. Me and my husband used to have time for date nights once a week and hella trips and all this, but now we're different. We're different people. The way he works, the way I work, we have our twins, so who we were then is not even our setup now. So you have to respect that as you rebuild your connection in your relationship. And then from a dating perspective, and everything could be compared either or, but if you are dating, consider these things. And if it's somebody that, you decided to get to know, to have a dating relationship with, make sure you guys are on the same page with where you are and what you want, what you expect, and what's necessary, because those things are not going to always be in the same vein. They're not going to always be the same physically and emotionally. If you're dating, know straight off if you are with somebody that is very affectionate and wants to do the do every day. And if you know that you are not about that, be honest and say that. Either they will adjust or they won't. But I would rather be honest with who I am than lie about who I'm not, and then ruin a relationship because I was not completely honest with who and where I am. Because let's be honest, by the time you pass 40, all your dating relationship lies should be gone. It should be fully, this is me. This is what's up. This is very interesting. So when we talk about, they use the term gray divorce, they also use the term gray dating. So when we look at why more women after 50 are initiating divorces, some of them say because menopause gave them some sort of clarity. They realize they've been prioritizing everything else besides them. They're reclaiming their time, X, Y, and Z. Kudos to you if that's you, because some of us may have married or have been dating very selfish, toxic as men. And sometimes it takes menopause to help you realize that. I'm not mad. Do you? I think for me, because I got married to my current husband, story for another day, but I think because I got married later, has not been an issue different than younger Valencia. So, yeah. But if you find yourself in that situation and you think it's more hormone related or versus it being a toxic person, don't jump head first into I'm out. Don't jump head first into that unless if the relationship is toxic, different story. If it's worth salvaging, get counseling. Try to communicate and get counseling. That's what I would recommend. But think about, what do you need? Do you need more support? Do you need more space? Do you need more understanding? Do you need more help around the house? What is it you need, or what is it you're feeling that makes you feel like I'm ready to be out? And maybe you evolving your relationship is the answer versus ending it. If you've ever felt like that, definitely communication is the foundation of everything to me. Because I hope to hell my husband never feels some kind of way and feels like he cannot communicate that to me first. Let me see what I'm doing or not doing, and let's see how to fix it. So if you're dating, this is specifically for you guys that's out there in this dating world as you're older. Kudos to you. Like I said earlier, hats off. Okay. So if you're looking to looking to date, romance, that kind of stuff, but you also want to keep your alignment, your peace, your connection without all the BS. Stop playing by the dating rules that you did when you were 20. The same rules don't apply. Like I said earlier, know the player, know the game. Both have changed. Be upfront about what you need and your deal breakers. You are no longer a spring chicken, so you have less time to waste. Don't just accept anything. And maybe one day I'll do a review on my feelings about some of those toxic, wrong ass relationship TikToks with women that jump wrong and then they blame it on the man. And I'm a little different because I'm a woman. So, but that's for another day. Know what you want, know your deal breakers. Don't do 20-year-old stuff in your 40s and 50s. If you're dating and you're older, certain things you should know hands down. You should know whether they have a job or not. You should know whether they have kids or not. You should know, if they're still wanna tear the club up or if they're more chill and working on building their legacy. You should know exactly where they are and they should know exactly who you are. And that way y'all can decide, hey, this is just for fun or this is long term or this is straight up no go for me. I ain't got time for the BS. Don't be scared to open your mouth. You didn't make it to this age without doing that. Give yourself some credit. So next time you go on a date, ask yourself, is this person going to add to my peace or aggravate it? Simple, black and white answer. Ain't no maybe this, and this. If you are dating a man, let's say y'all out on y'all first date, and the way he chew or something of that nature is aggravating your very soul, you're still on non-committal status. So consider that versus 10 years down the line and you are extra menopausal and all of a sudden the way he's chewing is aggravating your soul and you up and leave, but you knew that when y'all were dating. I hope that makes sense. So that's the tip. Know your deal breakers. So the one shift, okay, I said the number one thing that I want you guys to do or think about, okay? So by the time you enter menopause, you should know who you are. You should know what you want. We've been taught wrong. We've been taught to prioritize keeping the relationship together. We've been taught to deal with the toxicity. Don't worry about you. Support your man, support your woman no matter what. I don't believe in that because life is way too short. Now, if the relationship is worth it, communicate, counseling, and go from there. If it's not, do what you got to do. You need to be with somebody, and you also need to know what makes you feel whole and happy and at peace. Your relationship with yourself and everybody else around you will improve. So I guess that's like number one. Know you. Know what relationships, marriage things, know what's important to you versus you winging it. And communicate. Always, always communicate. So this is your affirmation. I'm no longer shrinking myself for anyone. I am unapologetically me, and I deserve love unapologetically. With that being said, whether you're in a long-term marriage or stepping out into the dating world, this is a stage of life that's about a deeper, honest connection, clarity, and honoring yourself and the person you're with. That's it. So I would love to hear more about you guys' relationship experiences, whether marriage or dating. If you have any questions, drop a comment. Let's get the party started. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more real talk, love, life. I don't want to say midlife, but just, yeah, real life midlife style. I kind of like that. So with that being said,